This is Rachel's 2020 Honda Rebel 500, and today we're going to look into replacing the battery. We had ourselves a nice sunny day today, and we were going to take our bikes into town, but Rachel's bike wouldn't start. And it had been plugged into a battery tender for several days before we had gone out, and it wouldn't start. It's been plugged into a different charger for a couple of hours, and I was able to start it to move it over here. But we're going to check to see if the battery is in good enough shape. We've got a replacement battery ready to go. So the first thing that we have to do is take off the seat. We installed this aftermarket Mustang saddle on the Honda Rebel because the stock saddle is not well known for being comfortable, and this Mustang seat is a lot more comfortable, but it makes getting to these Allen bolts a little harder. This is a 5mm Allen bolt that we have to undo here, and there are two of them right by the seat, and we've just got to scoot the seat a little bit out of the way to get to them. So it is a two-handed process, but once we do this, the seat should just lift right off. There's a tongue in the front that holds it in place that we just have to pull up on the back once the second bolt is loose. There we go. And be careful not to drop these two Allen bolts. Get them, and then the seat just slides off. And then we have access to the battery, which is underneath here. And like way underneath there, there's this fuse panel block here that I might just be able to lift out of the way. If I can scoot these things off of it. And the trick is to remember how to get them back on. And then that just slides out of the way. And then there's the battery. I'm going to go ahead and take this battery out and replace it with this one. This is a DuraBoost Lithium Ion battery. We picked this up at Cycle Gear, and it has this neat little thing on it. If I open it up, it has a test strip. This is fresh in the box, fresh from the store. If I push this button, these lights here are supposed to light up to say whether it's low, half, or full, and that's going to let us know if we need to sit this on a charger before we install it. But it goes all the way up to full as we push. So this is good to install as is, and it should crank the bike right up. First thing that we're going to do is disconnect the negative terminal. For that, you're just going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. We'll disconnect the negative, and then we'll disconnect the positive. A little bit of rust on that screw. The new battery came with new screws. Maybe we will use the new screws on the new battery. The thing that I always hate about these motorcycle batteries is the little itty bitty block of metal that the screw has to connect to is just problematic. So that's disconnected. Now we're ready for the positive terminal, which is the red one, for those of you who don't know, just in case. Because, you know, if you're watching a video on how to replace a battery, leave nothing assumed. So we unscrew that. And did I get it enough? I did. And that is now good to go. Now we have a battery tender lead attached to that. So we're gonna have to be really careful with this. Put that little screw in the tin. And now this thing should just lift right out. So this is the battery that we're replacing. This is the battery that we are replacing it with. And there is a big difference in size on this. So that's why it's not the same battery. So we're going with this lithium ion here. The positive and the negative are on the same size. But you see the difference in the battery size there from the side and on the bottom. This new battery came with these. They've got peel back adhesive on them. And it looks like if I put one on the back, then that's going to give the battery the right width. And it looks like I'm going to have to put two on the bottom to give it the right height. but I'm not sure if I'm going to have to trim some off of it for it to fit right. So I'm going to start with the foam piece that I know I don't have to trim, and that's the one that's going to go on the back. I'm going to peel it off and be very careful not to lose stuff because it's a little windy today. And that is now attached. Yeah, I am going to have to trim, so I'm going to have to get a utility knife and trim that off. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark where I need to cut. Just push in real light while the battery's there, so I'm not bumping this utility knife into the battery itself. Kind of scarred our deck a little bit, but and now I can do this again on this one. You know what? Let's go here so I'm not cutting into the wood. There we go. And those cuts are made. So now I will peel this off. Stick it on the bottom of the battery and do the same thing with this, except I'm going to stick it to the bottom of the foam pad I just cut and stuck on. And now it should fit just like the battery we just took out. With a motorcycle battery, you got to use these things, and they are annoying. But these little metal blocks go inside the terminal, like so. And I'm just going to start that screw to start it. So that's where it needs to be. I'll take the red cap off and start the one here on the positive terminal as well. And this battery's got little ridges in there that kind of help hold those in place. So now I can put the battery in, and there it is. So these are the leads to our battery tender, and I'm going to have to connect them as well. And I don't have a whole lot of play on the positive and negative terminals here, but I'm going to do the best that I can. Helps if you don't knock the block out. So Rachel had the idea of using some of this foam to hold these blocks in place. And so we've stuck one there on the side, and we're going to stick one over here on the side as well. And hopefully that'll solve my problem. So we're finally able to get the battery tightened up. Had to use this little T-handle Allen wrench to hold those blocks stable. Lost a couple of them and all of that, but we've got good connection on the battery. This is the hardest thing about doing this on a Rebel. Then we're going to take this thing back and get it back in place where it goes.
There you go. Nice.
There we go. Now we can put the saddle back on. Now comes the moment of truth. And now we have replaced the battery on Rachel's Rebel 500. Hopefully you found this entertaining, if not informative. Stay tuned, we'll have some more videos coming up. Thanks for watching.